Hello friends, and welcome to Mobility Flow. This is actually a part of a bigger series if you haven't been following along, my Back to Basics workout series. This is actually day 5 on week 2. So if you're not caught up, be sure to download the workout calendar in the description box below to catch up and follow along for the Back to Basics month of workouts. All right, but other than that, let's dive in and get started. All right, everyone, I'm going to take a couple steps back just so you can see me. For today's flow, it's not going to be timed. Mobility is more of a moving stretch. This is a nice cool down from all the workouts that we've done throughout the week. This is a nice welcome, and I hope you enjoy. So we're going to start with standing spinal curls. What this looks like is I'm going to start on my right side. I'm going to reach down slowly, kind of keep my arms limp, my head limp, like I am going to touch my toes. I'm going to let my arms ragdoll across to the left side and then slowly lift up. This is going to help stretch the spine and the hips out. We're going to keep doing that back and forth. Again, slow and controlled, kind of let your weight just dangle, hang down. You might feel this a little bit of everywhere. Hamstrings, spine, hips. None of it's right or wrong. Everybody's tight spots are a little bit differently, so we're going to feel these stretches a little bit differently. A good rule of thumb when you're doing these stretches, we should feel at about 4 or a 5 on the discomfort scale, right? Usually when we're training, it's closer to a 6, 7, or even 8 out of 10. But for mobility, we want a 4 out of 5. So it's a nice gentle stretch. We can tell something's happening, but we don't want to push too much where we start to feel pain or discomfort, because that is when it leads to injury. And when you're finished, finish up the one that you're on and come back up to standing. All right, now we're going to head down to the mat. We can take our time. And we're going to do one of my favorite moves. It's a cat-cow with a twist. This is going to be a rolling cat-cow. Sorry, I heard a noise and it was my cat. We're going to do a rolling cat-cow. What that looks like is we're going to kind of look like a wave. So we're going to start by rounding the shoulders, rounding the back, rounding the hips, kind of sitting the butt back. And as we sit the butt back, that's when we begin to arch all the way through the lower back to the shoulders and the neck. And we just continue that flow. And notice how I'm kind of rocking forward and backwards, again, like a wave. This may feel a little weird at first. Try not to overthink it. Simply do what feels good. And if you're feeling a little confused by this, you can still just do a regular cat-cow. This is something you could work up to. You may see my cat come in. He gets a little jealous when I'm talking to the camera for some reason. I don't know how he can tell, but he knows. All right, let's do one more. Kind of finish up where you're at, and then meet me back at tabletop. All right, next up we're going to do a rolling beast. So what that looks like is it kind of builds off the rolling cat-cow. Rolling beast, you're going to be in your kind of bear pose here. We're going to sink our heels back towards our butt, straighten the legs. Okay, so we're almost in downward dog, and then roll and round the shoulder blades down to a plank. So sit the hips back, up, roll it forward into a plank. And just remember when you hit your plank to not arch your lower back down. Okay, so it's gonna feel a little bit like a workout, but it's also a stretch. But mobility isn't quite stretching, and mobility isn't quite working out. It's movement. And if you need to take a rest, drop to your knees, maybe stay in one position for a little bit to catch your breath, that's fine. Let's do 2 more of these. And you can come back to rest when you are ready. All right, next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go to a kneeling position, and I want you to do, it's called a kneeling swimmer stretch. All right, so I'm gonna be showing you first facing forward, and then I'm gonna turn around so you can see what's going on in the back. So I'm starting with my hands here behind my head, and reach up almost like I'm reaching to yawn, turn my palms to behind me, and then back to my lower back, and then I'm gonna reverse. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around so you can see. Hands behind the head, reach up, turn those palms behind me, reach behind my back, and then I'm going to reverse. Okay, so that's going to be what we're doing. All right, so let's start with our kneeling swimmer. Let's go into that now that you've seen how to do it. Great for opening up the chest and the shoulders. And the reason we get a lot of injury is because we don't move enough and we don't test our range of motion. We tend to get stiff. If you don't use it, you lose it. So that's what mobility helps us do. Improve our mobility, our range of motion, get blood flowing to areas we normally don't, helps bring us energy. So many good things. Let's do one more. And back to rest. We can kind of shake that out a little bit. The next thing I want you to do is we are going to be backing up a little bit because we're going to be using the mat here long ways. I want you to do a little bit of a rolling shoulder stretch. That's what I like to call it. A lot of rolling type mobility moves today. So we want a wide stance with our hands. They're flat. And I want you to kind of lean in, try to bring that shoulder to the mat. You can bend that other one to lower yourself down and then come up. We're just going to alternate side to side. Again, helps open up the chest, the shoulders, maybe your upper back. Let's do a couple more. Up at rest when you finish up. All right, another move that complements that well is going to be threading the needle. You may have heard of this one. There's a couple different variations to it. I'm going to show you kind of like the full version. So we're going to be on all fours. We're going to take your right hand, palms up, and it's like we're threading a needle. We're going to move our arm through. As this is happening, we're going to rotate and lower that shoulder blade down to the mat. Again, we can bend the arm. We don't need to keep it straight. Once you're here, we're going to slowly undo what we just did. And then you're going to bring that arm up and reach and have a little rotation there. Okay, so we get that full rotation. We're just going to repeat what we did. So meant to be slow and controlled. Go at your own pace. I really like stick my butt into the air to really get that depth. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning, guys. Mobility makes me yawn. It makes me relaxed. I got enough sleep last night, I promise. Let's do 2 more of these. And last one. And rest. All right, now we're going to do the other side. Something that people don't do enough in regards to working out is the things like this. The mobility, the stretching, the recovery. If you want to train hard, work out hard, diet hard, you have to learn how to recover just as hard, right? Because think of an Olympic athlete, they train at elite levels, but they have a team of recovery behind them. You know, top-notch chefs. They probably have physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists. They do ice baths, heat. They're stretching. You know, they do it to balance out how much work they're doing to help prepare their body so it can stay strong. And that's what we're doing here. It's a little bit of a stress reliever too. It's good for your mental health as well. We'll do one more. All right, next thing is going to be a straddle stretch, pretty basic stretch, and it's optional to use a yoga block here. So our straddle stretch, if you have a yoga block, you can pause this video and grab one because it is optional. It basically aids you in stretching depth if you need it. So for our straddle stretch, we're going to start by sitting wide, okay? We're actually going to go to each side. So what I like to do is I'll put this either long ways or short ways on my leg, and when you lean forward to reach your toes, you can actually use this as a little rest for your head. Okay, so we're going to use this as a little rest for our head. This could allow you to kind of relax into the stretch a little bit more. I'm going to be holding my mic here because I didn't want it to like rub my neck because I have a high collared shirt right now. We'll come back up. Let's go to the other side. Okay, and make sure when we twist, we're rotating our torso to face that foot. You may not be able to reach completely, but you know, if you can reach the block, that's cool. If you have 2 blocks, maybe you can stack them. But just simply reaching our hands forward in front of us for the stretch is fine. Oh, look at that. I can use the yoga block as my mic stand. Try to see if you can relax into the stretch a little bit deeper and walk your fingers ever so slightly forward. Really what happens with stretching is our body's tense, and it naturally has a safety mechanism to tighten up so we don't injure ourselves and go past a certain range of motion. And when we relax, it allows us to just go a little bit deeper, and our safety kind of drops a little bit. So that's why stretching is good. All right, we'll come back up to rest. Next thing we're going to be doing is scorpions. So scorpions, these are great for the lower back. Again, I'm going to be holding my mic because I'm going to be on my stomach. Actually, I might be able to clip it. Let's see. So we're going to be on our stomachs, and I want you to reach your left foot back behind your right. It almost looks like a scorpion tail when you do that. And you're going to try to get it flat behind you. And you can rotate for this. But you should feel this all throughout your hip flexors, your hips, lower back. I just like to have my hand out. You could do whatever feels comfortable. And then we're going to rotate. So you can kind of make this a flow. If you want to hold one to really get the stretch, you can do that as well, but we're just going to alternate between the two, hence it being called mobility and flow. It almost has like a yoga-like flow to it because you're flowing between different movements. Let's do a couple more here. I have two more. One, I'm trying to land facing the right direction. All right. And then when you're ready, you can come back to rest. We're going to kind of press ourselves back up into tabletop, because the next move we have is pigeon pose. So pigeon pose, you may already know what this is. We're going to extend one leg straight back behind you. All right, foot is relaxed and flat. Okay, we're going to pull our left leg up and in the best that we can. The more forward, the higher up you bring your ankle, the more flexible you tend to be. Okay, but we're just going to hold it here. You can have your hands in front to help kind of prop yourself up. Okay. Then we'll go to our forearms for a little bit of a deeper stretch. And it stretches the area a little bit differently. If you have tight hips, this one's gonna feel really good. I know a lot of my females and males, my clients, they love this stretch. The stretch to switch sides, so you can untuck that leg, bring it back, come back into our tabletop position. Now let's shoot that right leg back. Did I just do that one? I definitely did. Let's shoot our left leg back. I just shot my right leg back. And then we're gonna bring our right foot up and forward. Remember, one side can definitely feel tighter than the other, totally normal. Just do what you can do. We tend to favor one side when we're doing different tasks, and throughout the day, if you favor one side and you do that hundreds of times each year, one side is gonna get stronger or more flexible, and it's just, we don't even notice it. It becomes secondhand nature. And that's why we strength train, that's why we stretch. It helps balance those things out, so we don't have any imbalances, and it's less likely to cause injury. All right, we'll come down to the forearms. We have one more move after this, so let's hold here for a couple more seconds and we'll come out of our stretch. start to untangle ourselves here. And last but not least, let's do some child's pose. So bring our heels together, push the knees apart a little bit, sit hips back towards the heels, arms straight out, and relax the head. Right, and whenever you're ready, we can kind of slowly make our way back up to rest. And with that, I will wrap up our mobility flow. So thank you for joining me today for this stretch. I hope it was exactly what you needed. And be sure to subscribe so you never miss another workout video again. See you guys soon. Bye.